I think the staff could handle a playground punch-up.
Sounded pretty serious, mate.
Over here, Sarge.
There you go, son. You'll get on.
Sergeant, eh? Don't tell the boss that one.
So here you've gotten yourself in a bit of strife, eh?
Oh, good, they're here. Hello, thanks for coming down. The other lad's down at the doctor's getting his face stitched up.
Oh, what's the name of the other lad?
Lee Jackson. And his mother is screaming blue murder. I'm sure you'll be hearing from her.
So what happened?
Well, according to the other children, Lee said something which Sam took as an insult, and Sam started throwing punches.
So he's got a short fuse, has he?
And it's getting much worse. He's turning into quite a little bully. So I thought perhaps a word with you people might just help to straighten him out.
We'll have a chat to him, see what we can do, eh?
He loves it.
Excuse me, Mr. Roper's here.
Mr. Roper, thank you for coming down. Your wife not with you?
No, she's over in St David's. I've left a message for her.
Well, this is Constable Patterson.
Mr Roper?
Constable Cooper.
No.
Mr Roper, I thought we might be able to go down to the station and sort all this out. Come on, son.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Hello there. You'd be Mrs. Roper, would you?
That's right.
G'day. Just come through here, would you, please?
Appropriate action.
I think you should let us handle.
Jane Roper, right? Look at that. Your son did that.
Then I'm sure he had a good reason.
He doesn't need a reason. Not from what I've heard.
All right, ladies.
Bloody
We
little
might leave it
psychopath.
there if you don't mind. Just take Mrs. Roper
just
straight
through,
through.
dear.
Mrs. Roper to the end.
He'll end up behind bars before he's much older.
I think you should just get Lee home, Mrs. Jackson, don't you? We wonder why the kids are so aggro.
Now's not the time to be silent, Sam. We need to know why you did it.
Don't you know why, mate? Come on, son, just tell the truth.
He always tells the truth, and you can bet that Lee Jackson deserved whatever he got.
Please, Mrs. Roper, will you let us talk to Sam?
Sam, I don't know if you understand this, but we're getting into some pretty serious territory here. Now, from what we understand, Lee made a comment and then you decked him. Is that what happened?
You do realise, Sam, that you could be in a lot of trouble. We may have to charge you.
Oh, for goodness sake, he's 10 years old.
Come on, Jane, just calm down. You don't want to go to court, do you, Sam? Well, then?
Lee was being mean to Matthew. He does it all the time.
There, you see, defending his little brother.
What exactly did Lee do, Sam?
Called him at names. Shoved him so his lens fell in the dirt.
Well, that's pretty mean. Couldn't you have gone to one of the teachers instead of splitting his eyebrow open?
Mrs. Bianchi tells us you've been in trouble before.
Turning into a bit of a bully.
I am not. I just... Sometimes I lose my temper.
At your age, Sam, you should be learning to control it.
Oh, for goodness sake. He's entitled to defend himself, isn't he? And his little brother.
Self-defence is one thing, Mrs. Roper, and assault on another child is something else.
All right, what are you going to do about it?
You're being let off very lightly, Sam. I hope you realise that. All the same, a caution is nothing to joke about. Next time, it'll be the children's court. Do you understand?
Yes, Sergeant.
Good. All right, then you can take him home.
Amazing how Lee Jackson gets off scot-free. No caution for him.
He did have rather a large gash on his eyebrow, Mrs. Roper.
I'm not condoning what Sam did, Sergeant Croydon. I'm just saying that it generally takes two. Come on. Better get back to work. I've still got a job to go to.
Sorry about this, Sergeant.
How'd you go?
Different to usual. He's ashamed and she's basically claiming harassment.
Oh, he's just another little bash artist.
G'day, Al.
How are you, Jeff?
How you going, Rosie?
Rosie?
Not expecting you yet.
Oh, I tied up all the loose ends of my last job sooner than I thought. What do you got for me?
4 cars out the back. Rosie's got the details.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Oh, no time like the present.
The Sierra was stolen. The Fairlane had false plates and seems to have been modified.
Oh, look at this.
The Jag was found abandoned.
Oh, man, how could you abandon something like this? I remember you used to lust after one of these.
The Cortina was possibly used in a robbery.
Recovered
Apparently it
when?
smashed through the, last Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Smashed through the safety railings. 2 men fitting the description of the suspects were seen in the car earlier. Anything else you need to know?
Yeah, plenty, but we can discuss that over dinner. What do you reckon?
Let's just stick to business.
Morning.
Good morning.
I might just grab a cuppa before I start. Yep. So where you living now? Oh, I might want to buy you some flowers. You know, roses for Rosie.
Save your money.
Don't you think you're being just a little bit childish, you know, trying to sweep the past under the carpet?
Sergeant, I'd like to make it quite clear that your personal advances are not welcome. You're a bastard, and if I have to work with you, I will, but that doesn't mean...
Senior Constable Egan. Is it a problem for you working with Jeff Rice?
No, boss.
Didn't sound that way to me.
It won't happen again.
Rose, I am aware of the fact that you and Jeff used to be married. If your relationship's going to interfere with your work, I need to know now.
There is no relationship, boss. We're divorced.
So there's no reason why the two of you can't work together amicably?
No, there's no reason.
Was there something else you wanted to say?
No, I'll sort it out.
Well, make sure you do. Whether you like it or not, Jeff Rice is your senior officer, and as such is due your professional respect.
Yes, boss.
The boss give you a hard time?
Adam, I really don't want to talk about it.
That's usually what it means when he calls you into his office and closes the door like that. Believe me, I should know. Hey, he's not that bad, really.
Adam, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
BKC to Mount Thomas 308.
Mount Thomas 308 receiving.
Domestic at 24 Greville Street. Can you attend?
Yes, VKC, we're in Anderson Road. Hey, that's the Ropers.
You better be quick, I reckon, before someone gets murdered.
Yeah, no problem.
So you can show them too. Show them how the Ropers solve their problems.
Calm down, calm down.
Come, sit down, Mrs. Roper.
Boys.
Want to show me your room, matey?
Come on, matey, you go with your brother. Mr. Wayne.
Wayne, don't!
Come on, Mr. Roper, why don't you come with me?
I thought he was going to kill me. It's okay.
Hey, bud. What's your name?
Matthew.
Me, Matthew Hankey. It's all right. Don't cry. These things happen in families, you know. Huh? You'll be all right.
It seems to me, Mr. Roper, there's quite a bit going
He did that.
on here. Who's that?
There's nothing going on here that Jane and I can't sort out.
Right, but what we'll do
It
is
must
we'll
look a
stay
mess.
for a little while. We'll help you sort it out.
Clean
You
up.
both calm down. We'll leave.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Roper, but we'll have to take you back to the station and get some photographs of that.
There's no reason for you
Photographs?
to
What for?
We've been called here. That's why we're here. We've been asked to attend.
I think that guy next door, he just
When
always...
you lay charges, we'll need a record of the incident. Charges? Unless you lay charges, there's not much we can do to help. Is this the first time? And it won't be the last, unless you take steps to stop him. admit you assaulted your wife?
I admit that I hit her.
Mr. Roper, that's an assault.
Yes, but I didn't set out to hit her. So you don't understand.
Well, perhaps you could explain.
Well, she was going on and on about Sam in front of the boys. How that caution was just so unjust. And it's just the wrong thing to say at the wrong time.
And that's why you hit her?
She was building to one of her rages.
One of her rages?
She goes right off. And it really upsets the boys. I mean, Matthew wets the bed and Sam won't talk. He goes all dark on me.
Mr. Roper, does that make you angry when your wife upsets the children?
Yes. No, I mean, I hardly slept last night with the worry. She's like a dog with a bone. She just won't give up. And it just makes things worse.
And you think assaulting your wife makes things better?
No. I mean, I hate violence. I mean, I know that some people love a good argument, but I'm not like that.
Under the circumstances, that's a bit hard to believe, Mr. Roper.
You make it sound like I do it all the time.
Do you?
We've been married for 12 years. In that time, I've hit her twice before.
And you can remember exactly, can you?
Yes. Because I always feel so bad afterwards. But everyone's got their breaking point. And when it upsets the boys...
You hit their mother.
You don't understand what it's like in our family. What Jane's like.
I think we've got a fair idea.
It's not like you make it sound. It's not like that at all. I've tried to explain. It just doesn't make any difference.
I thought he was being too hard on Sam. He never lets up, and that makes Sam worse. So I tried to intervene. That's when Colin hit me, which is what he usually does. There was a lot of yelling and crying, and the neighbour must have heard and phoned the police. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. And if you can just sign down here.
I don't know.
Is there some problem, Jane?
Yeah, I don't know if I should sign it.
Jane, we see women like you all the time. Now, we know how hard it is to press charges. But you can't let an abusive relationship go on. For your own sake and the children's sake, even Colin's, he's got to be stopped.
The thing is, I'm sure he doesn't mean it.
They never do.
Jane, that's so true. They say they don't mean to hurt anybody, but they keep on doing it. Until someone like you comes in and signs that piece of paper that allows us to act.
Jane, your husband's in the next room. He's not sitting there full of remorse. He's saying that you're the one that flies into violent rages. He's blaming you. If you don't stop him, where's it going to end?
Shake? What?
1, 2, 3. Mine.
How are you doing? Oi!
Are we going to be here all day?
No, it shouldn't be too long. Do you know the game is Scrabble?
Parents are really stupid.
Do you reckon?
They tell us not to fight, and look at them.
Well, I guess no one's perfect, mate.
You know my dad. I wish he was different.
Here comes your mum.
You ready then?
Constable Egan's going to drive us home.
What about Dad? Is he coming?
Not just yet, Sam.
Come on, Sam.
Why can't Dad come with us?
Come on, quickly. Through this way.
Bail is granted on the understanding that you'll make no attempt to approach your wife or children, nor make any attempt to enter the family home until this matter comes to court. Do you agree to those conditions?
No.
Why not, Mr. Roper?
I'm worried about my kids, Sergeant. I don't like them being alone with my wife.
Why would that concern you?
She's a bit upset at the moment. I just don't think it's a good idea.
She is their mother. I doubt that she'd harm them in any way.
You don't have to hit someone to harm them.
Mr. Roper, I'm sure she has their best interests at heart.
And unless you sign these bail conditions, you'll be detained in custody.
I can't make a promise I won't keep. If you let me out of here, I'm going home to see my boys.
Then you'll be kept in a cell at St. David's. Is that what you want? You'll be kept here at Mount Thomas until a car arrives from St. David's. You'll be detained at St. David's to appear before a magistrate, unless, of course, you want to sign your bail form.
You got any kids, Sergeant?
Yes, I have, Mr. Roper. Could you move into the cell, please?
I've never spent a night away from my boys before. I usually put them to bed at night, you know. Read them a story. And I don't want them to worry. Do you think I could give them a call?
I don't think that'd be a very good idea. Could you move into the cell, please?
You boys watch the telly. I'm going to make you something to eat. Good boy. Well, they must be starving. Look, thanks for driving us home.
No problem. Janie, I know how hard it must have been for you today, but you did the right thing. You took the first step. It's the hardest part. Only good can come from this.
It's emotional crap, Rose. If it was that bad, she could have walked out.
So easy with 2 kids. Men always say that, don't they? Why didn't she walk out?
Well?
You know why, PJ.
No. Really? Did Rose ever say?
Women stay for 3 reasons. First, economics. No money, no job, no place to go. Second, fear. That the man will come after them. Kill them, grab the kids. And third...
Third?
Hope. That he'll change, that he'll stop hitting her, like he's promised to do 1,000 times.
Never ever the woman's fault, is it? She's as loving as the day she tripped down the aisle.
No, PJ, she's a neurotic mess.
You said it, Rose.
God, I can't stand how they treat everything you've said like it was a joke. Like it's totally trivial. Hello? What do you want? No, I don't want to see you. No, I don't want to talk. No, I won't change my mind. Just get lost, Jeff.
Pretty stupid of those guys to wipe the fingerprints off the entire vehicle and then leave something in the glove box.
People do some pretty stupid things when they panic, Cooper.
It must be a good feeling to nail someone like that from a set of fingerprints.
Yeah.
It's white with 1.
Oh, thanks. We'll have you hooked on forensic next.
Yeah, maybe one day. I've got to get into plain clothes first.
Your day will come.
Hope I'm not as old as Rose.
It's her choice leaving it so late, you know. You know, we used to be married.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I blame myself that she didn't go further sooner. She's always too busy supporting me to worry about her own career. I still care about her, of course, but... So how's she getting on here?
Yeah, fine. She's a bit of a loner. Doesn't help much living out of town.
Well, she doesn't live here in Mad Thomas?
No, she's got a place out at Widgery.
That can't be much fun.
No.
Might have a word with her. I got a couple of RDOs. I thought I might, you know, hang around, do a bit of fishing.
Well, boss might give you a few tips, maybe.
What happened to you?
Oh, right.
Oh, I was in the bathroom last night and a light bulb blew and I thought the shower recess was the door and of course there was a step. Silly, really.
Are you sure you're right to work?
Yeah, I'll be fine, thanks. Just embarrassed.
Mrs. Roper, how can we help you?
I want to drop the charges against my husband.
We just want a word, Jane.
Look, I know what you're going to say. You said it all yesterday.
And that's still the case today, Jane. The law's on your side now.
You can take your kids and walk out the door if you want to. You can send your husband packing. You can get an intervention order. You can stop the violence. But only if you're prepared to speak out.
I know all that. There's just one thing you're overlooking. I want my marriage to work. I want my boys to have a father. Colin and I, yes, we have a few problems. But I think with a little help, we'll be okay.
You honestly think he won't go on hitting
Well,
you?
it's worth a try. I'm a born optimist.
You'll be a dead one if you're not very lucky.
Oh, come on, just because he's got a temper.
There are refuges all over the country full of battered women who thought that their bloke was different. He'd be the one in a million who'd change. Well, believe me, none of them change.
I really don't think he'll do it again.
You're wrong. He'll do it again. And keep on doing it. Oh, come on, Jane, we talked about this. If not for yourself, then think what kind of future this will mean for the boys.
I'm sorry.
You handle it.
Joan, I'm sorry. Constable Egan's seen some bad cases.
I want the charges dropped, okay? So I can get my husband out of that cell he's in.
Sure. What the hell happened in there, Rose?
She was making a mistake.
And you thought attacking her would help you change your mind?
I didn't attack
yes,
her.
Yes, you did. If you'd have handled that another way, you would have achieved a different outcome. And walking out like that, maybe you shouldn't have taken the...
You're out of line, Maggie. If I need your advice, I'll ask for it.
2 meat pies and an orange juice.
That's almost police, like.
Thanks.
Yeah, wait, I think I'll get it for you. Rose, it's a phone call for you.
Thanks. Senior Constable Egan speaking. Yes, I did say that. Of course we'll help. Jane, if you can just tell me what happened. No, it's okay. Calm down. I'll be right there.
Laid into her again, has he?
I don't know. She wasn't making much sense.
Wayne, you'd better go too.
Police! Was it an accident? I didn't mean to kill him. We had all these plans. We're going to get counselling.
We'll get the boys in, huh?
The other little fella wasn't here, thank God. He's over at friends.
The body's in the kitchen. Blaine, take care of the boy, eh?
Sure. Come on, matey, off we go.
Where are you taking him?
We need to ask you a few questions, Mrs. Roper.
He'll be right outside. Come on.
Shoot everything, all angles, especially around the head.
G'day.
Just you and your husband in the house, Mrs. Roper?
And Sam.
All right. What happened?
I told Constable Egan it was an accident.
Accident?
We were arguing, he hit me. And then he was shaking me. I tried to tell him to stop, but I don't think he even heard me. He seemed to be out of control. It was frightening. So I pushed him away. One little push.
Right. And where was Sam?
He was there. In the kitchen. He saw it all.
Rose? I need to bring an homicide. I must inform you that you're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. So anything you say may be recorded and used as evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Tell us exactly what happened between you and your husband this afternoon.
Colin and I were arguing.
What about?
His job.
He worked for McIntyre's, didn't he?
Yes, but it was pretty dead end. And there was something going at St David's and I said he should apply.
And?
Well, he took it the wrong way as usual. I was thinking of Sam as much as anything else. I thought a new school might be a good idea. But Colin thought I was having a go at him. He always did that, took everything personally.
What do you mean?
He thought I was complaining about the money he earned, but I wasn't at all. Anyway, he went right off yelling and screaming.
Sam was there.
He came into the kitchen when he heard us.
Well, most kids would stay out of it, wouldn't they?
Sam was frightened that Colin would hit me.
And he wanted to protect you.
Yes.
So, you and your husband were arguing. What happened next, Mrs. Roper?
He lost his temper and hit me. Sam told him to stop. But then he grabbed me and he started to shake me really hard. And when he let go, I pushed him back.
You pushed him back, what, with both hands?
Yes, I guess so. Bit of a shove, that's all it was. And he stumbled, and the next thing, he was lying on the floor.
When did you realise that your husband was dead, Mrs. Roper?
Not straight away. I didn't think it... I didn't think it was possible.
You didn't think a push like that could kill him?
No.
Did you call the doctor?
No, I felt for a pulse. But there was nothing, and then I realised he must have caught his head on the kitchen chair.
So you concluded that medical assistance couldn't revive your husband?
Yes.
Did you see him hit the chair?
I can't remember. It was very quick. He was lying there, and I felt sort of numb.
Your husband had a fall,
And then
Mrs.
I
Roper.
phoned
Your husband had a
Constable
fall, and he's lying on the kitchen floor, and you call the police. Now, I'm sorry, but that does not make any
I
sense.
did say if Mrs. Roper needed any help that she could call me.
This interview is suspended at 15:2300 hours. Constable. Where's your objectivity? You're treating everything this woman says as gospel. You're even putting words in her mouth.
She's admitted she hit her husband in self-defence. What more do you want?
I don't believe I'm hearing this.
He's been abusing her for years.
That does not make her a saint, Rose.
What does it make her, PJ?
You don't think there's a motive for murder here?
You don't honestly think she intended to kill him, do you?
I don't know. But I'm keeping an open mind. Which is something you should practice if you want to become a detective. Do you understand? Community services here?
Yeah, in your office. Sam's with her.
Will you keep her in line there for me?
Sure.
So, Mum and Dad were arguing, right? What happened then?
Then my dad hit my mum.
Just once? Well, did he go on hitting her?
Once. Then he shook her. Then she pushed him away. And he fell down and hit his head on the chair.
Mm-hmm. You were in the kitchen? You saw this happen? Yes, Sam done very well. The kid's been coached.
What?
The stories are identical, Rose.
Maybe they're both telling the truth.
Yeah.
How'd you go? Anything interesting?
Well, I'll send this lot off, but I don't think there's anything in there to contradict her story.
Right out.
Oi! This will be Matthew and his mate.
Come on, get off the road, will you? Mrs. Kello, is it?
Yes, we've just brought Matthew home. Stay there a minute, kids. What's happened?
I'm afraid there's been a bit of an accident, Mrs. Kello.
Jane? Or Colin?
Colin, I'm afraid he's had a fall, and I'm sorry I have to tell you he's dead.
I see. Those poor little boys.
The mother, too.
Yes, of course, I'm Jane. Though some of us have wondered
Wondered.
if it would come to this in the end.
Oh, would you mind telling me what you mean by that?
You got the picture, right? Yeah, sure. Gently does it, all right? No. I want you to stay out of it, Rose.
What?
You heard. Have a cup of coffee. How do you get along with your mum, Sam?
Okay.
Do you always do what she tells you?
Mostly. Or she gets cross.
Fair enough. And how about your dad?
He's dead.
Yeah, but you got along with him, didn't you? So you got along with your mum, you got along with your dad, but they didn't get along with each other.
Yeah.
That must have made it tough on you, mate, trying to please both of them.
Sometimes.
You said something to me yesterday about wishing your dad was different. Can you tell me what you meant by that? Different in what way? Did you wish he wouldn't hit your mum?
No.
Not that. Your dad did hit your mum, Sam. Look, mate, I know this is difficult, but it's important that we find out exactly what happened today. Now, that's important for everyone. It's especially important for your dad. Now, he's not here to speak for himself, so we owe it to him to get the story right. Do you understand that? Now, I think you can help us.
You've got it all wrong.
Have we?
It was her. She was the one.
The one who did what?
All the hitting. I kept on hoping that Dad would stand up for himself, like other fathers do, and fight back.
And did he?
Hardly ever.
Today?
He just took it. She hit him and punched him and said all those things like how hopeless he was and why didn't he get a better job. She was always putting him down.
Why didn't you tell us this before, Sam?
She said it was our secret. She said if I said anything, that she'd go to jail, and meaning that would have to be sent in a home, and would never see her again.
Your mum said that to you?
Yes.
I resented his lack of ambition. I suppose I resented a lot of things. We had such different expectations, Colin and I. And I was always having to lower mine. But Colin never gave a damn. He just wanted a happy family. I suppose it was because it was something he never had.
You had a difficult upbringing?
Yes. His father was a tyrant. Colin was terrified of him.
And your husband wanted to do things differently?
Yes. Cole was like some refugee from the 60s. He really believed that all you need is love. He'd never stand up for himself, fight for what was his. Always in retreat. Gutless, really. I honestly don't know what happened to us. It was his gentleness that attracted me to him, and in the end I hated him for it. I don't know why. Well, I suppose it was because I wanted someone who could take responsibility, give some orders. Poor Cole was just the opposite. To me, he was a failure.
What happened today, Mrs. Roper?
I just had it.
And what?
Trying to get the family somewhere, trying to get Colin to live in the real world, like I said. Wanting him to take control.
So you hit him?
Yes. We were arguing about the job. He had the kids on side. They said they didn't want to move. I must have caught him off balance. He came crashing down. I didn't mean to kill him.
So your husband didn't assault you, did he, Mrs. Roper? Self-defense didn't come into it.
I was trying to defend my sanity. I guess that doesn't count, does it?
No, it doesn't, Jane.
Sam said to me once, if you hate each other so much, why don't you get divorced? Colin and I never even discussed it. We just went on day after day, torturing each other. I suppose it had to end somewhere.
Is Andy going to charge of manslaughter, Mrs. Roper?
Yes.
I owe you an apology. And PJ, I really stuffed up today.
Oh, Rose, don't be so hard on yourself. We all had the wrong victim. You weren't the only one.
Yeah, but I was the only one who didn't even try to be impartial.
It was harder for you, though. Rose, after the interview with Jane Roper, I did some checking. Spoke to a couple of people in St David's.
Always the cop, eh?
They told me about you and Jeff. You've done a pretty good job of keeping it quiet. Rose, he put you in hospital twice. You never pressed charges. Why?
I just wanted it to be over. And I was ashamed. Sure, there were people who knew about it. Work colleagues, but they're friends of Jeff's as well. So they're pretty happy to sweep it under the carpet. You know what police culture's like. Protect your own.
It's not too late to do something about it now.
That was years ago.
And the other night, your eye. Got some pretty vicious taps there, Rose.
He just won't leave me alone.
Then you've got to do something about it.
Boss, could I have a word in your office?
Sure.
I'd like you to hear this too. Two nights ago, Jeff Rice came to my house. I don't know how he knew where I lived. I didn't tell him. I asked him to leave. He refused, and then he forced his way in. Said he'd changed and that maybe we could give it another go. I continued to ask him to leave. He wouldn't. That's when he assaulted me.
You're saying that Jeff Rice caused those injuries?
Yes.
Why didn't you report it at the time?
Kept quiet about it for years. I know I should have said something before. But after I divorced him, I thought that would end it all. Couldn't see the point. I thought it would end my career.
How?
I knew how the guys at St David's would react. I knew that they'd make my life impossible, even when they knew it was true. It's still a boys' club.
Well, I wouldn't have thought Jeff was the type.
Yes, well, we'd all be guilty of that one.
You know he'll deny all this.
Yeah, I know that.
So what changed your mind?
I was so totally wrong about the Ropers. My personal life is affecting my career. I have to do something about it.
Yeah, he should be just upstairs. He won't be long. His breakfast is nearly ready.
Well, he's not going to have time to eat. Something's come up.
Oh, you'll be popular. Isn't it his day off?
Yeah, he'd be a copper, eh? Mm-hmm.
Ah, Jeff. Sorry to spoil your day off, matey, but you need it at the station.
Ah. Lucky reprieve for the fish, eh?
My word.
What's your problem?
The boss will fill you in. Rose, she's got the full story.
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. Want to bring your car?
This better be important.
I think it is, Jeff. I think it's very important. Would you like to sit down?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Then listen very closely, won't you? Rose?
I hope this is strictly business, Rose, is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I don't really think this is quite the place to discuss our personal problems.
There'll be no discussion, Jeff. You won't have to say anything. Go ahead, Rose.
Jeff, I divorced you because you abused me. But apparently that wasn't enough to get the message across. So now I'm spelling it out in front of witnesses. If you come to my house, if you stalk me or phone me, I'll take out an intervention order. I'll press charges, I'll go to court, I'll go to the media, I'll do whatever it takes to stop you ever touching me again. And if it costs me my career, you can be damn sure it'll cost you yours. I hope that's very clear.
Clear. I don't know what you're going on about.
Consider yourself warned, Sergeant.
You don't believe this rubbish, do you?
Every word. In fact, I honestly think you're getting off very lightly.
I hope you don't regret this, Rose.
And I hope that wasn't a threat I just heard. Enjoy your day off.
Listen, you didn't swallow that story in there, did you?
Just gullible, I guess.
Wasn't PJ. And this could make things a little awkward, you know?
It's okay, mate. I'm used to working with pricks.
Yeah, thanks.